Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 17, written by Scott Lobdell, art by Arjun Siaf, Robson Roca, and Ken Lashley. This is labeled as the aftermath of Death of the Family, but we had the finale for that, and I don't care about aftermaths. So we open up with Starfire and Roy getting a call from Jason. Basically, they're just saying like, hey man, all this crazy stuff happened over in the Teen Titans book. And he's like, yeah, sure, cool. Anyway, I need you guys to do me a favor. Get in the car that I just sent to you. And they're like, what do you mean? We're totally cloaked out on a remote beach. And then they look outside and there's just a car sitting there that's 100% automated to bring them to Jason's location. And then we see Jason. He is, I think, in Wayne Manor, but it's like not, because it doesn't look anything like Wayne Manor. So at one point they say safe house. We're going to go with that. And he looks around and he sees Damien just sitting around moping. And he gives a whole breakdown on who Damien is. And he's like, I'm going to get going. And Damien's like, who cares? Get out of here. No one needs you. And he's like, yeah, well, just want to tell you did good for a psychopath. And he's like, again, don't care what you think, Todd. And they sit together on the bench and then they recap how they did manage to work together when they were in Batman Incorporated. But now that they are back to their normal selves, they can't seem to get into that groove again. And Jason tries warming up to him, and he's just like, hey, look, like, we get it. You're in the awkward growing period of, like, what's going on, but we've all been there as Robins. And he's like, I don't care. Leave. And at that point, Roy and Starfire come up, and Roy just gets out of the car and immediately starts talking about how swanky the place is, and Damien just shoots him down like, oh, you look like a hillbilly with that trucker cap. And Starfire comes out, immediately lifts Jason up high into the air because she's just so glad to see him. And leaves Damien and Roy alone. And Roy immediately challenges Damien and just be like, oh, don't think I won't kick your ass because you're a 10-year-old. And Damien's like, oh, I'll be right back. Let me change into something a little more comfortable. So Jason and Starfire get to talking, and she's like, oh, I'm so happy. You're like the closest thing I have to a friend. I really didn't know what I would do without you. And Jason says, yeah, no, it's totally cool, but you want to come inside? I got to get some stuff. And she's like, I don't think I should. And then I don't quite understand what happens next, because for some reason she really doesn't want to come in. And I thought it was maybe like a claustrophobia thing, or she just doesn't like being inside. But then once he goes in, he sees Dick Grayson Nightwing, and he's like, hey, don't you want to go say hi to your old friend Starfire? And she's like, he's like, no, I don't. I can't. Right now I can't bear to be close to anybody, especially not her. And then he just tells Jason, hey, promise me you'll watch over her. And Jason says, yeah, sure. So, okay, that happened. Despite the fact that Starfire definitely doesn't remember Dick definitely remembers Starfire. So, anyway, we then go to Roy fighting Damien. And Roy's somehow manages to have, like, the upper hand on Damien for a while. Then Jason comes down, sees him, and just be like, you idiots, stop fighting each other. And he goes back inside one last time to go pick up his mask, and turns out Batman has it. And he's like, oh, I wasn't sure you were going to leave without saying goodbye. And he's like, yeah, I met Superman the other day. He said that you vouched for me. And he's like, I mean, I'm not going to approve of what you do, Jason, but I get it, and you get results. So, yeah, you deserve to be able to do things your own way. And then Jason is leaving, and he turns back to Bruce and just be like, hey, the Joker knew like a lot of things about me, even stuff from before I came back as Red Hood. He said he made me. Is that right? And Batman's like, he didn't make you. I didn't make you. You made you. And you should need to know that. And Jason's like, all right, thanks. I needed to hear that. So Arsenal and Damien start playing like football, as much as Arsenal throws the ball and Damien has no idea what football is, which... No. I get he was raised with assassins, but he would know how to catch a football. So then we see Jason go back to his old room, and Alfred stops him and just be like, oh, are you staying here for a while, Master Jason? He's like, no, I just wanted to see my old place, and he reminisces for a while. And Alfred's like, it's nice to have a full house for once, even if it's only for a brief while. And Jason leaves and he puts on his helmet again. And as soon as he puts it on, a giant holographic Joker appears before him. And he's like, surprise, it's me. I put this in just in case I managed to lose, or maybe I faked my death. See, you, as I said, were the one that I had a hand in making as a Robin. But then you came back from the dead and ruined everything. So I'm going to put you back where you belong. And then all of a sudden, his mask starts spraying out gas, I believe Joker gas, because we see a whole bunch of laughing. And everyone freaks out, goes running to Jason's location. But when Batman pulls off Jason's mask, he just seems to be dead. Like, he's not smiling, he's not Joker-fied, he's not laughing anymore. He's just dead, or at least very injured. So, I don't know what happened there. Overall, it's a nice little breather issue. We just get the thing of, okay, here's how Jason interacts with different members of the family and what's going on with that. I will say it's not quite as good as Nightwing 17, where it's basically the same sort of vibe of like, how are things going post death of the family. But whereas this one feels a bit more strongly tied in because they still are bringing back the Joker to do one last thing. And that, I think, actually kind of cheapens the moment, where it's like, oh yeah, he says all these goodbyes to people, but like, clearly he's not dead. And it just feels a little bit over the top for me. I don't know how to put it into words, but it's just, it doesn't hit the same emotional point that I think it's going for, especially because of all the comedic beats between Roy and Damian throughout. It's just got something weird about it. So overall, I'm going to give this one I'll give it a 6. But it's like a low 6. It's not gaining any favors here. So yeah, I mean, I have no idea where we're going next issue, but I guess we'll see.